Principle 12 is interruptions. There are two major types of interruptions: phone interruptions and walk-in visitors. A lot of people like to interrupt over smartphones. They like to call and text and DM and PM and PMS and ADD and PhD and LGBT and BBQ and MCM and all this other stuff. It gets out of hand. How do you stop this? How can you just focus? A great way is to go to your settings and preferences and turn off all notifications, especially ones from social media. Even text. If it's an emergency, the person will call you. If this is too hard for you to handle, turn off your phone and put it in another room. Do not be a slave to your smartphone. The studies on what our use of the internet is doing to our brains can be, for lack of a better word, frightening. Do not be one of those numbers. If you want to learn more about this for the sake of your own awareness, there's a phenomenal book on it, one of my all-time favorites. It's called The Shallows: What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains by Nicholas Carr. There's a link in the description below if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. But in the meantime, don't be a number. Don't be a slave to your smartphone. Don't be a slave to the internet. Don't be a slave to technology. The next major type of interruption is people. Most people waste their time. They like to waste other people's time. And they like to waste yours too. You have to be aware of this. Most people, without notice, like to walk in and just start talking about whatever. The fastest way to get them out of there is to stand up immediately when they walk in. If you stand up and stay standing, they will not sit down. If people call or message you and say, "Do you have a minute to talk?" Say, "No, can it wait?" They'll say, "Sure." And most of the time, they'll totally forget about it. This is problematic in a way, because there's no follow-up, there's no set communication, and as I said in another principle, what you do for one, you should do for all. A lot of these principles may sound selfish to many people, but the reason this is a more modern version of the original time management seminar that I'm basing it on is that we are living in a new economy of please, thank you, instant gratification, instant delivery, instant service, instant everything, and especially on your way to the top, you can't afford to be a fucking boogerface to other people. It will negatively affect your reputation. So you say, hey, I can't talk right now, but if you name a time in the next week, I can fit a time in and adjust it to that. Find a time that works for you. A lot of people will actually say any time works for them. This blows my mind. You can learn a lot about how much a person values their time by asking them for a time in the next week during which they can have 1 minute of yours to simply talk. When your plan gets interrupted, you gotta revise it. Have an original plan and have a backup plan. Always have a backup plan. In fact, don't just have one backup plan. One of my favorite rappers, Big Boy, has a line, "I got a backup plan to the backup plan, to back up my backup plan." No tactic works 100% of the time. So you don't need to feel discouraged if your plan doesn't work. It is not the end of the world. Just do the best you can and look at interruptions as they occur and be like, is this gonna happen again? How can I flip it to my advantage by offering value to it? It couldn't be that unimportant, could it? I know this was a big principle. I packed a lot into it, but interruptions are a very big stressor in work today. As social media takes the world by storm, they are beginning to get worse, so long as you cannot find out how to control them. If they weren't controllable, they would not continue to exist. So let's move on to principle 13 in the next video, which is right here, and I will see you there.